Vilcara's architecture is imposing. Tall metallic towers, jagged walkways, and dimly glowing advertisements dominate the skyline, giving the city a sense of coldness and inaccessibility. The streets themselves are labyrinthine and narrow, echoing the shouts, laughter, and jeers of its alien inhabitants. This environment is more than just a backdrop. It is a character in itself, reflecting the hostility and societal hierarchies of Vilcara. In this city, vulnerability is often punished, and strangers, especially those who do not conform to the local norms, are treated with suspicion and cruelty. Lyra, the alien girl at the center of this part, is introduced as fragile and defenseless. She belongs to a different alien species, characterized by delicate features, soft skin, and large, expressive violet eyes that immediately convey innocence and sensitivity. Her appearance sharply contrasts with the rugged, hardened locals of Vilcara. From the very first moment, the narrative emphasizes her vulnerability, not just physical, but also social. She is unprepared for the city's harshness and unaware of the danger she is stepping into. This sets the stage for the story's central conflict, the juxtaposition of human morality and courage against alien cruelty. As she navigates the alleyways, Lyra becomes a target for the city's merciless street gangs. These gangs are a reflection of Vilcara's societal decay, where the strong intimidate the weak and cruelty is normalized. The narrative describes the escalating harassment. Trash, rocks, and debris are hurled at her, not merely as physical assaults, but as a means of psychological terror. The attack is designed to strip her of dignity, leaving her exposed both physically and emotionally. Her clothes are torn, her body left partially bare, and her sense of safety shattered. Each object thrown at her represents the collective disdain of a society that views outsiders as inferior. The vivid depiction of humiliation is crucial, as it elicits sympathy from the reader and establishes a strong contrast with what will follow when the human intervenes. The crowd's reaction also underscores Vilcara's social dynamics. No one steps forward to help Lyra. Their inaction is as telling as their aggression. By showing the indifference of the city's inhabitants, the story amplifies Lyra's isolation and vulnerability. Readers are made to feel the weight of societal neglect and the harsh realities of this alien world. This societal cruelty is not gratuitous. It is essential in building the foundation for the HFY theme. When the human enters the story, his actions are magnified precisely because they stand in stark contrast to the city's indifference and malice. The turning point of Part 1 occurs with the introduction of the human. Unlike the alien bystanders, the human immediately conveys a sense of calm authority and moral certainty. His presence is almost cinematic. He appears as a figure of order in the chaos, unafraid and resolute. This moment is critical for establishing the HFY element of the story, which celebrates human courage, empathy, and decisiveness. The human is described as tall and broad-shouldered, a physical manifestation of strength, but more importantly, his confidence communicates that he is a force that the aggressors cannot easily challenge. The narrative hints at the human reputation across the galaxy. Humans are known not only for their unpredictability, but for a certain moral clarity that alien societies often lack. Lyra's perspective emphasizes her emotional state. Fear and exhaustion dominate her senses, and the narrative allows the reader to experience her desperation intimately. Her vulnerability is tangible, making the reader deeply invested in her survival and well-being. The human's arrival is therefore not just a plot device. It is the catalyst for the story's central theme: humans as protectors, as beings who combine physical courage with moral conviction. The suspense in Part 1 lies in whether the human will act and how the aggressors will respond, setting the stage for the resolution in the subsequent parts. Begins at the moment of the human's decisive intervention, which is the pivotal turning point of the story. The narrative shifts from Lyra's vulnerability and the city's cruelty to a display of human courage, empathy, and decisiveness. The alley, previously dominated by fear, aggression, and the alien crowd's cruelty, is now subtly transformed by the presence of a single human being. This shift is critical for establishing the HFY, humans are exceptional, theme, as it highlights qualities of humanity, courage, moral clarity, and protective instinct, against the backdrop of a hostile alien society. When the human enters the I.O. scene, the narrative emphasizes his physicality and composure. He is described as tall and broad-shouldered, his presence commanding yet calm. This physical description is more than superficial. It conveys a sense of authority and reassurance, creating a stark contrast with the frightened, trembling Lyra. The human's calmness amidst chaos signals that his courage is not reckless, but grounded in discipline and moral certainty. He is not motivated by personal gain, glory, or vengeance. His motivation is simply to protect the innocent. This trait becomes a defining aspect of HFY storytelling. Humans are not only capable of physical dominance, but also guided by an innate sense of justice. The human's act of draping his coat over Lyra is both literal and symbolic. Literally, the coat shields her from the physical elements, the scraps and projectiles hurled by the alien mob, and restores some of her lost dignity. Symbolically, the coat represents safety, warmth, and compassion, qualities that Vilcara's streets had failed to provide. This moment demonstrates the uniquely human ability to combine strength with empathy. Where the alien crowd had relied on cruelty to assert dominance, the human asserts moral authority through protection. The narrative uses this gesture to reinforce a core HFY theme. Human actions are amplified not merely by strength, but by the conscious decision to defend the vulnerable. The crowd's reaction is carefully described to underscore the extraordinary nature of the human. Vilcara's street urchins, initially emboldened by fear and aggression, hesitate when confronted by the human. One of them even attempts to continue the attack, but the human's unflinching gaze stops him. This illustrates an important narrative principle. Human presence alone can command respect or fear, even without violence. The story conveys that humans possess an innate aura of unpredictability and authority that alien societies, accustomed to hierarchy and intimidation, struggle to comprehend. Their hesitation amplifies the tension, demonstrating how one human can dramatically shift the balance of power. Lyra's response further highlights the impact of the human's intervention. Her whispered question, "Why?" reflects her awe, confusion, and emerging trust. She has experienced the worst of Vilcara, humiliation, abandonment, and fear, and the human's simple act of kindness is transformative. This interaction serves to reinforce the HFY motif. Humans inspire hope through actions rather than words. The human's calm response, "Because no one deserves this," conveys both humility and moral clarity. It is not a boast or claim of superiority. It is a statement of principle. By presenting humans as beings who act decisively to uphold justice and dignity, the story cultivates admiration from both Lyra and the audience. Part 2 also establishes the foundation for the developing bond between Lyra and the human. While the immediate threat is neutralized, the narrative hints at an emerging relationship based on trust and mutual respect. Lyra's trauma and vulnerability make her receptive to the human's protection, while the human's consistent, principled behavior ensures that this trust is well placed. This relationship will evolve in later parts, but Part 2 is essential for laying the groundwork. It demonstrates that human influence extends beyond physical protection. It can change the perception of safety, self-worth, and hope in those they aid. Additionally, Part 2 introduces a subtle commentary on cultural differences and morality. Vilcara's citizens operate within a societal framework where cruelty and humiliation are normalized. In contrast, the human introduces an alternative moral paradigm, one that values compassion and courage even in the absence of personal gain. This juxtaposition not only highlights human exceptionalism, but also frames the story's central conflict as a contrast between empathy-driven strength and dominance-driven cruelty. The story focuses on the aftermath of the human's initial intervention, emphasizing the development of trust, the human's protective presence, and Lyra's gradual emotional recovery. This part is crucial for deepening the HFY theme, which showcases human courage, empathy, and moral consistency, not only in moments of direct confrontation but also in how humans navigate ongoing threats with calm authority. The narrative shifts from immediate action to the quieter, reflective moments that reveal the depth of human character and the lasting impact of their interventions. As the human guides Lyra out of the alley, the story highlights a remarkable combination of vigilance and composure. Each step they take is deliberate. Every glance toward potential threats communicates authority without aggression. Unlike the chaotic, impulsive violence of Vilcara's street gangs, the human's movement is controlled and purposeful. This contrast reinforces a recurring HFY motif. Humans are capable of applying strategy, calm, and foresight, even in high-stress alien environments. The human is not simply reacting to danger. He is actively managing it, creating a buffer zone of safety around Lyra through his presence alone. Lyra's experience during this retreat is central to the emotional core of Part 3. She is enveloped in the human's coat, which provides warmth and protection, but more importantly, it symbolizes the first real sense of safety she has felt since entering Vilcara. The coat acts as a tangible representation of human care. It is a barrier against physical harm, yes, but also a reminder that someone values her life and dignity. The narrative focuses on her sensory experiences, her trembling body, the comfort of the fabric against her skin, and the emotional weight of finally feeling protected. These details allow the reader to understand the profound psychological impact a single human can have on someone in a desperate situation, emphasizing the HFY theme of humans as moral and physical anchors in a chaotic universe. During their retreat, the human's calm and nonverbal authority continues to influence the environment around them. Potential aggressors are deterred simply by the human's presence. This subtle form of power, commanding respect and compliance without direct violence, underscores a unique human trait: the ability to assert influence through confidence, strategy, and moral authority. The human does not boast, threaten, or display unnecessary aggression. Instead, his effectiveness comes from the combination of self-assurance, courage, and a clear understanding of what is right. This distinction between human and alien approaches to power is a key element of HFY storytelling. Humans are not feared solely because of strength, but because of the deliberate, ethical, and intelligent ways they wield it. As they reach a more secluded and safer location, the story delves into dialogue and emotional reflection. The human secures the coat around Lyra once more, ensuring that she is fully protected and comfortable. This simple gesture, while physically small, carries immense narrative weight. It is the human's quiet attention to Lyra's needs. Beyond the immediate danger that demonstrates his empathy, patience, and understanding of emotional vulnerability. In alien societies like Vilcara, such patience and emotional awareness are rare, making this interaction even more striking. Lyra's whispered question, "Why?" highlights her astonishment and growing admiration. The human's response, "Because no one deserves this," is understated yet powerful. It communicates a philosophy of moral responsibility and protection, a defining characteristic of human exceptionalism in HFY narratives. Part 3 also marks the beginning of a subtle psychological transformation for Lyra. Before this moment, she was entirely reactive, constantly fearful, trying to survive, and overwhelmed by humiliation and danger. With the human's guidance, she begins to shift from fear to cautious hope. She experiences what it feels like to be genuinely safe and cared for, and this changes her perspective on both the city and the universe. The human's actions demonstrate that courage and compassion are not just situational, they are habitual and deliberate, and they have the power to influence others profoundly. Lyra begins to internalize this lesson, realizing that humans are not merely strong in combat, but are capable of inspiring trust and moral clarity in others. Additionally, Part 3 emphasizes the narrative contrast between alien and human societal norms. Vilcara's culture is one of cruelty, indifference, and social hierarchy enforced through intimidation. The human introduces an entirely different paradigm, where respect, protection, and moral action are valued over fear and domination. This sets the stage for the ongoing HFY theme: humans are not just physically formidable, they embody qualities that alien civilizations rarely anticipate or understand. In summary, Part 3 transitions the story from immediate conflict to reflection and recovery. The human's presence ensures Lyra's safety, restores her dignity, and introduces her to a model of behavior that contrasts sharply with the cruelty of Vilcara. Through careful movement, protective gestures, and quiet moral of the story focuses on the development of the relationship between Lyra and the human, moving beyond immediate physical protection into the realm of trust, mentorship, and emotional connection. This part is essential to the HFY theme because it highlights that human strength is not only in physical might or courage under threat, but also in the ability to inspire loyalty, trust, and hope in others. By showing how humans can impact individuals and societies through guidance, empathy, and leadership, this section reinforces the narrative that humans are exceptional in a galaxy filled with cruelty and indifference. After the initial rescue, Lyra and the human begin to spend more time together, not out of obligation but out of a natural progression of trust and mutual recognition. The narrative emphasizes that humans do not protect the weak merely for appearances or reward. They act because it is the right thing to do. This moral consistency is central to the HFY message. Humans are reliable in their ethics, and their actions often challenge the norms of alien civilizations, which may operate on fear, power, or self-interest. The human's decision to stay near Lyra and ensure her continued safety is portrayed as instinctive and steady, in contrast to the impulsive, self-serving behavior of Vilcara's gangs. Part 4 also explores the practical ways in which the human helps Lyra navigate the alien city. He provides guidance, advice, and strategies to avoid danger. These actions demonstrate human foresight and intelligence, qualities that extend beyond brute force. The human is not merely reactive, he is proactive, teaching Lyra to anticipate threats, assess risk, and take control of her circumstances. This elevates the human's heroism from a single moment of bravery into a sustained example of leadership and mentorship. Through these actions, Lyra begins to develop a sense of competence and empowerment, learning not only to survive but to thrive in a hostile environment. The story emphasizes the subtle but profound emotional impact of the human's behavior. By consistently demonstrating patience, respect, and protective care, he creates an environment in which Lyra can feel safe and valued. Unlike Vilcara, where cruelty was normalized and survival required constant fear, the human introduces a model of interaction rooted in dignity and trust. Lyra experiences, perhaps for the first time, the feeling of being truly supported without expectation or judgment. This emotional security allows her to open up, express herself, and begin processing the trauma she has endured. It also strengthens her admiration for humans, reinforcing the HFY motif that humans are not only physically exceptional, but also morally and emotionally influential. Another important element of Part 4 is the growing social awareness of their relationship. Lyra begins to notice the effect the human has on others in Vilcara. Even those who would previously harass or intimidate her hesitate in his presence. This observation underscores a key HFY theme. Humans have an innate ability to command respect and inspire change in alien societies, even without violence. The human's influence is not merely personal, it has broader implications, demonstrating that human actions can subtly reshape social dynamics through integrity, courage, and empathy. The development of trust between Lyra and the human is carefully illustrated through dialogue, gestures, and shared experiences. The coat, initially a literal shield, becomes symbolic of the bond they are forming. Lyra begins to associate the coat not just with protection, but with guidance, reassurance, and human reliability. The narrative emphasizes that this bond is reciprocal. While the human protects and teaches, he also gains insight into alien cultures, challenges, and vulnerabilities. This mutual exchange highlights another HFY element. Humans are adaptable, capable of learning quickly and navigating complex, unfamiliar systems while maintaining their principles. Finally, Part 4 sets the stage for the story's resolution by establishing the emotional stakes. Lyra's confidence and sense of safety are growing, but the city remains dangerous, and the potential for conflict remains. The bond formed here is not simply sentimental, it is functional and strategic. It demonstrates that human intervention can create lasting positive change, not through dominance, but through example, courage, and care. The narrative makes it clear that Lyra's transformation, from fearful and humiliated to empowered and trusting, is a direct result of consistent human qualities, reinforcing the HFY message. Humans are exceptional, not just in combat, but in their ability to inspire, teach, and protect others. In summary, Part 4 illustrates the emergence of trust, mentorship, and emotional connection between Lyra and the human. The human's consistent guidance, patience, and protective actions empower Lyra and influence the surrounding society, highlighting core HFY traits: moral integrity, strategic intelligence, courage, and empathy. By demonstrating that human heroism extends beyond physical confrontation into the realm of emotional and social influence, this part reinforces the story's central theme. Humans are extraordinary not only because of their strength, but because of the choices they make and the lives they touch. Serves as the story's culmination, tying together the themes of protection, courage, empathy, and the far-reaching impact of human behavior. This section emphasizes the long-term effects of human intervention, not just on Lyra personally, but on the broader social dynamics of Vilcara. It highlights a core HFY, humans are exceptional motif. Humans do not merely survive or fight, they inspire, uplift, and transform the worlds they touch through their unique combination of strength, morality, and foresight. The narrative opens with Lyra walking confidently through Vilcara, a city that had previously symbolized fear, cruelty, and humiliation. Her demeanor contrasts sharply with the terrified, trembling girl from Part 1. This visual transformation underscores a central HFY principle. Human influence extends beyond immediate action into lasting psychological and social change. The coat, once a literal shield against harm, now serves as a symbol of resilience, dignity, and the protective ethos that humans embody. It represents both Lyra's personal growth and the enduring impact of human kindness in a harsh environment. Lyra's newfound confidence is not accidental. Throughout the story, the human's steady presence, guidance, and moral clarity have taught her to navigate danger, assert herself, and trust in others. By Part 5, this trust has solidified into self-assurance. She no longer views Vilcara's streets with the same fear. Instead, she interprets threats with caution, understanding, and strategic thinking, a direct reflection of the human qualities she has observed and internalized. This evolution demonstrates that humans do not merely act heroically in isolation. Their behavior has a ripple effect, empowering others to rise above their circumstances. Socially, Lyra's transformation begins to shift perceptions within Vilcara. Those who once mocked, harassed, or ignored her now observe her differently. The human's influence, even in his absence, is apparent. His courage, moral authority, and protective instincts have reshaped the environment. Gang members hesitate to approach. Children watch with awe and curiosity, and ordinary citizens recognize a change in power dynamics. This element highlights a key HFY theme. Humans are not only physically capable, but possess an almost intangible authority that alters social structures. Their presence challenges established norms, often inspiring respect, fear, or admiration among alien societies unfamiliar with such ethical strength. Part 5 also emphasizes the psychological and emotional impact of human actions. Lyra's personal growth, from fear and humiliation to confidence and empowerment, reflects the broader idea that humans influence through example as much as through direct intervention. She carries the human's lessons, values, and courage within her, internalizing them as tools to navigate the world. This demonstrates another HFY trait. Humans do not merely fight or protect in the moment. They leave enduring legacies in the hearts and minds of those they touch, transforming both individuals and societies. The story also explores the symbolic significance of the human's coat. Initially, it provided warmth and protection, shielding Lyra from immediate harm and restoring her dignity. By Part 5, the coat has become an emblem of human virtue, a visual marker of the protection, guidance, and moral clarity humans offer. Its presence on Lyra signifies the permanent influence humans can have, extending beyond physical assistance to embody ideals of courage, integrity, and ethical responsibility. Readers perceive this as a metaphor for humanity's broader impact on the galaxy. Humans are capable of altering social landscapes, inspiring change, and elevating the downtrodden without seeking glory. The climax of Part 5 also reinforces the narrative's HFY perspective through subtle societal observation. Even in the harsh alien environment of Vilcara, human influence provokes change. The once cruel and indifferent city begins to reflect the consequences of ethical strength. While the human himself may not dominate Vilcara through force, his moral and physical presence has rewritten social expectations. By demonstrating courage, empathy, and unwavering adherence to what is right, humans establish a standard that challenges alien norms and inspires reflection, fear, and admiration. This is a key HFY message. Humans are exceptional not because of sheer violence, but because their values resonate across cultures and species. Finally, Part 5 closes with a sense of legacy. Lyra, empowered and confident, embodies the lasting effects of human influence. She is now more than a survivor. She is a symbol of resilience, shaped by the human's intervention. The story concludes with the recognition that humans leave enduring impressions not merely through force, but through consistent moral courage, compassion, and guidance. In essence, humanity's true power lies in its capacity to protect, uplift, and transform, leaving those they touch stronger, wiser, and inspired. In summary, Part 5 illustrates the culmination of HFY themes by showing the long-term effects of human courage, empathy, and moral authority. Lyra's transformation, the societal impact on Vilcara, and the symbolic weight of the human's coat all serve to emphasize that humans are exceptional not only in moments of direct heroism, but in their enduring ability to inspire change and leave a positive legacy. It reinforces the story's central message. Humans are extraordinary because of the choices they make, the dignity they uphold, and the lives they touch across the galaxy.